DVD Era TV back at y'all live from the 30 section of YouTube. Back with another one. Today we gonna talk about the rapper 50 Cent from Queens and the stick-up kid 50 Cent from Brooklyn. Their similarities. And you know, the reason for me making this video is because on my Bimmy video from the Supreme team talking on 50 Cent, y'all think, some people in the comment section think he talking about the real 50 Cent from Brooklyn, but he's not. The story he telling is from the 90s. And by that time already, you know, 50 Cent from Brooklyn was dead. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that. And then Black Just didn't raise 50 Cent from Brooklyn and got him into boxing, because they even say he wasn't good at fighting. He was good with the hammer and all that. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into a little article on the real 50 Cent. Calvin Darnell Martin, born July 24th, 1964, died October 24th, 1987. Also known as 50 Cent, was an American who grew up in the Bronx, New York, but later moved to Brooklyn, New York. He is primarily known from his inspiration of the rapper named 50 Cent. Calvin Martin was possibly known as 50 Cent due to his reputation being prepared to rob anyone regardless of how much money they was carrying at the time. Another story is that the incident came when he entered a dice game with only 50 Cent and ended up leaving with $500. The nickname also is an allusion of his physically tiny stature. He weighed 120 pounds and his height was 5'2". He was shot on October 20th, 1987 in the stairway of his girlfriend's project building, dying in Kings County Hospital 4 days later. Julio was convicted of first-degree manslaughter and served a decade in prison for killing Martin's killing. You know what I mean? So that's a small piece on 50 Cent. We know 50 Cent was a menace at the time from Brooklyn. You know, he was a menace at the time. He was robbing everything. He was a stick-up kid. He even know he stuck up LL Cool J, you know what I mean? Took his chain and gave it to his daughter. There's actually a picture of him with the chain of LL's, a rope chain, and he gave it to his daughter. He was just a wild boy, you know what I mean? But he didn't have a relationship with Black Just, where Black Just had him boxing and stuff like that. And plus, I heard the whole interview. Now, I get some stuff wrong because I go with public knowledge that I know. And then sometimes when you do your research, you see that you may be a little off. But I'm telling y'all guys, 50 Cent from Brooklyn is not who Bimmy's talking about. Now, some people say that Bimmy's lying. Listen, Bimmy is friends with Supreme. Supreme and 50 are enemies. He have no reason to talk about a friend's enemy, even though he say he have nothing to do with it, and big them up. Like, what would he get out of lying, making up stories about 50 getting busy for if his man is Supreme? It don't make sense. You know what I mean? Like he said, he don't have nothing to do with it. Supreme kind of mad at him for befriending his enemy, but hey, he said he know them both, and you know, and they was even cool at one time and they had a falling out. Now, for you guys like, oh, 50 never was a stick-up kid. Then because a person, like, you known a person for hustling don't mean they wasn't doing stick-ups. Like I told you, these 70s babies, these 60s babies was outside early. They was 14, 15 putting in work, and they looked like grown men. I'm quite sure 50 probably was the same height and almost the same size when he was about 14 if he was running around beating up people, knocking them out and breaking their jaw. Now you get a gun in his hand and he running around with Black Just and people like Bimmy. You think he not out there sticking up? Like, y'all guys are crazy. And the funniest thing I seen to top this off, somebody said his name is B-U-B-U Boo Boo, not B-O-O, B-O-O Boo Boo. Meaning B-U-B-U is short for bully. Yo, that made me laugh. That was y'all got it with that comment, man. His name is Boo Boo, short for bully. No, his aunt nicknamed him Boo Boo around the time he was 8, and that name stick with him and stuck with him. Know what I mean? But this was just a short little video I wanted to do to let y'all know I know the difference between the real 50 Cent from Brooklyn and the rapper 50 Cent from Queens. You know, 50 from Queens was inspired by the rapper. I mean, the gangster from Brooklyn, obviously, and they say even the phrase "get rich or die trying" came from the real 50 Cent, and 50 Cent named his album that. And you know, if you name yourself after somebody, more than likely they inspire you, and you look up to their lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So all you people thinking that Bimmy was talking about the real 50 Cent, he wasn't. He was talking about Boo Boo. I would play the clip and play the whole interview. They definitely was talking about Curtis Jackson. You're wrong. And no, 50 name is not B-U-B-U, boo-boo, for short for bully. Y'all just make up anything. But this was just a little quick piece I wanted to do. I appreciate everybody supporting the content. Like, comment, subscribe. We're going to have some exclusive content coming up. Trust me. One.